What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. Joe Rogan has, been canceled for making an off-the-cuff remark about a group of people that you are not allowed to make jokes about unless you are part of it. This is true of several groups out there, but in particular with the Jewish community, with everything going on right now, the media is really, really looking to cancel anybody who may have made some passive remark. And look, by the way, I think people are the sum total of what they actually do in life. I don't have any preconceived notions about people based on, their religion or who, it's about what you do. And so, obviously there are different levels to this, I think, where you're talking about, or you're making a joke about somebody's Jewish. It's about whether or not it's spirit, with the spirit of it. All this is ignored by the mainstream media to absolutely drag him for actually defending a Democrat. This wild story continues after a quick word from this video's sponsor, Sheath. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor. That's right, Sheath. These boxers are designed to keep your balls off your legs. Sheath has 3 individual compartments to keep everything down there separate and cool and comfortable. And hey, since they've been a long-time sponsor, I've heard from many of you who have tried out Sheath and really love it. They were invented by a U.S. Army soldier who came up with the idea for Sheath during his second tour in Iraq, where it was hot as heck and his boys needed to breathe. And on top of all sorts of awesome designs for Sheath, they've added all sorts of winter items, hoodies, gator necks, and all sorts of base layers. Head on over to the link in the description and pin comment down below. Use my promo code to save and support the channel and keep everything nice, cool, and dry. So Joe Rogan accused of anti-Semitism while defending disgraced Representative Ilhan Omar. Now, this woman has said some very bad things over the years. In many ways, is a bit of a meme in terms of a politician. She's a member of the Squad, which is a bunch of uber progressive do-nothings that are more interested in being an e-celebrity than a civil servant. But Joe Rogan now has been accused of casually spouting anti-Semitism on his hit podcast while trying to defend under fire progressive Representative Ilhan Omar from the exact same charge. The UFC commentator was discussing how certain terms led to people getting canceled when he decried Democratic Squad member getting booted from the House Foreign Affairs Committee for her past anti-Semitic comments. He highlighted Ilhan Omar apologizing and talking about it's all about the Benjamins, he said, of the Congresswoman's 2019 message about American support for Israel. It's just about the money. She's talking about the money, Rogan said in the episode of the Joe Rogan Experience posted on Spotify Saturday. This is not an anti-Semitic statement. I don't think that it is. Rogan instead insisted that the term is widely denounced. I don't think that it is. Rogan insisted of the term widely denounced as racist trope. Benjamins are money. The idea that Jewish people are not into money is ridiculous. That's like saying Italians aren't into pizza. It's effing stupid. It's effing stupid. He said, didn't the French do pizza? I don't know. Here we go. All right. Well, look, all I can react to, obviously I'm not Jewish. I've spoken before about my relative ignorance to anything really Jewish. I have a Jewish friend who told me the most offensive Jewish jokes I've ever heard in my life. But also my only other experience with Jew jokes, Jew-related jokes, are like Seinfeld, where he makes a ton of tropes about Jewish people, but it's totally different because he himself is also Jewish. And of course, the trope about being obsessed with money is a thing. When I was young, it was pretty common to hear somebody say, I went to the car dealership and, they themmed me down or something like that. You know what I mean? And I get it. It's not a great thing to have people assume about you that you obsess over money. I would say that pretty much everyone does. I mean, it's about money for just about everybody. I don't think that, you could probably limit that to the Jewish individuals, especially when you're talking about our government. But I feel like I wonder how many Jewish folks are truly offended by this. And usually when I ask this, I get emails from, whatever particular group I'm admittedly not really that acquainted with. I doubt that. It seems like Jewish people probably aren't this soft. I can't imagine. And especially when it's such a big part of Hollywood culture. So I think that this brings up, this leads into like a bigger conversation that we can't have entirely on this video, but it's part of a bigger conversation that we can't have like entirely on this video. But, I would say that like when, let's say, I compare it to, and I know it's not the same, but there are things that people aren't allowed to say, right? Repeating Jewish jokes, or like, let's say rappers, when people get offended that kids use the N-word, for example. And I'm talking about like good faith, non-hateful uses of it. Like maybe someone says like, oh, you really, said something about a Jew and money, or he says something about whatever. Intent matters. I guess what I'm saying is people have grown up inundated with these jokes. And so I think that there's some level of, Seinfeld is the most popular show on TV, and it commonly led into these kind of tropes. I don't think it led to anybody hating Jewish people, but I guess I don't know. The same thing with rap, right? You want kids to stop saying the N-word. Well, maybe stop making every top, Billboard Top 100 song have 200 references to it. I feel like this stuff is so simple that I feel like an idiot even saying it out loud. Like, if you want to be offended, maybe look at the source of where this stuff is coming from. When I was born, nobody told me anything about Jewish people. Like, that's not a conversation normal people have, I wouldn't think. No one also told me anything about black people or Asian people or any of this stuff, okay? I just met people as I went on in life. Most of the, tropes or like stereotypes came from jokes on TV. And so like, I just think like, of all the things people could say negatively about a group of people, saying they care about money isn't really that big of a deal. I just don't know. And if I know it leads down a road and but like, come on. Like, look at what's happening in New York to Jewish people. You want to talk about the bad things that happen, like the Hasidic Jewish people who are more identifiable by their characteristics, often face attacks. Do you think that a Hasidic Jewish person walking down the street in New York is more concerned about Joe Rogan saying, "Ha, Jews and money"? Am I right? Or about somebody putting their hands on them? You know what I mean? Like, it seems like such a nothing burger. But it is kind of funny that it happened when he was trying to defend Ilhan Omar. Rogan said that whether you agree with her or not, Omar shared a bold opinion, and that opinion is not her own. There's many people that have that opinion, and they should be represented, he said. However, he soon found himself under attack, with some critics even tagging Spotify to ask whether the streaming service was happy that its multi-million-dollar podcaster was spouting anti-Semitism. Well, why are they bringing up money? UK comedian David Baddiel, the author of the book about anti-Semitism called Jews Don't Count, also accused the podcaster of spreading a racist myth on the show with a big grin. I mean, are you that soft? I mean, like, I just don't like, it seems like a weird thing to get all worried about. Oh no, we're good with money. Stop insulting our intelligence around accounting. I don't know. Like, it's weird. I guess, like anything, it can go too far and people could be like, accusing someone of being greedy or whatever the case is and go too far. But like, he said, I actually want to stop doing this at some point, but it's hard to do when racist myths about Jews just said so breezily on one of the biggest podcasts in the world and no one gives an F. What are you talking about? There's 100 articles. This perception that people don't care about it is absurd. There's 50 articles on it. I'm making a video about it. I'm sure a bunch of people who are on the side of being super offended are making videos about it. I don't really know. It's weird. Omar should not have recognized. I'm sorry. Ball agreed that Omar should not have apologized for her Benjamin's tweet, while conceding that the Congresswoman could have phrased it differently. Well, when you say, I mean, are you talking about Washington caring about money? I don't think anyone would disagree with that. But, I'm not exactly going to stump for a communist liar who has had some, the thing with Ilhan Omar is that she has said some questionable things in the past in regards to Jewish people. And so I think people are far less charitable with her. I think there are worse things that the Jewish community is worried about than someone accusing them of being good with money. But I don't know. I'm not Jewish. Is that all you have? I mean, I feel like there are probably bigger fish to fry. But I suppose we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure Joe Rogan will be fine. I think what he said was totally not a big deal. But I don't know. Maybe you guys will tell me differently in the comment section, or people who are Jewish who email me will tell me that it actually is a big deal. I feel like Joe Rogan's probably pretty popular in the Jewish community, though. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like on it. And if you haven't yet, by the way, if you made it to the end, make sure to go follow me on Twitter. I have the link in the pinned comment down below. I'd love to have you join there. Pushing hard to hit 275,000 followers there today if I can. We'll talk to you again real soon.